Okay, before we get all freaked out about World War III, potentially, I don't think it's going to happen. I actually think we're in a good spot. Somewhat worrisome. Let's just, for a moment, celebrate a war where America has had a complete and total victory thus far. I'm talking about the southern border. Wow. 1 year ago, May of 2024, that's what we have the numbers for. 62,000 illegal entries into the United States. A year later, zero. A big fat zero. You like that kind of zero. Isn't that incredible? And all that stuff. If they only would pass the bipartisan legislation, give me a break. We have all these beautiful laws on the books. Just execute. The chief executive officer, the executive branch. And it happened, and the results are awesome. Lots of work to do, right, inside the country, but what a beautiful start. All right, now, the world stuff and this crazy tweet and statement from Iranian state media. Tonight, a great surprise will occur, one that the world will remember for centuries. All right, do we take them literally? Do we take them seriously? I think we have to. What do? I don't know. There are a few options. Whatever President Trump does here, though, whether we elect to help Israel bomb the nuclear facilities in Iran, or if we don't, I actually really trust President Trump to make the right call. There are a lot of people in print and on television and all over the place saying exactly what they think needs to be done. I know this. Nobody I've been listening to has the information that he has. You'll notice that a lot of the prime movers in the administration are keeping somewhat quiet, quieter than normal, as they figure out what exactly to do. They have access to intelligence and to information that we just don't have, and that's fine. I'm not complaining. I am confident that President Trump will do the right thing for America, and maybe that is supporting Israel. Maybe that is supporting Israel by not bombing Iran. I don't know. I know this, that Israel has never had a greater friend in any president than Donald Trump. Bibi Netanyahu has made that clear. Here they are at a regular kind of briefing, but we know that there is such genuine warmth between the two. And quite frankly, Bibi can get on Donald Trump's nerves from time to time, but the faithfulness, the allegiance between Israel and the United States is unshakable, and I think people in both countries understand that. So, real briefly, the case for war. And I want to put war in quotes, because if we actually get involved in this thing, I don't think it's going to be all out, right, folks? It's not going to be like, it's not going to be World War III, I hope. But we have to take them very, very seriously, Iran. And if Israel needs us, well, look at the way they've been talking about us in Iran for a long time now. They want us and our friends in Israel dead, to not exist anymore.
Earlier, dozens of Iranian lawmakers chanted "Death to America" as they met in Parliament.
Iran's hardliners flexing their muscles, screaming "Death to America" and "Death to Israel" at Tehran's main Friday prayers.
Wow. They've been doing that since I was in the 4th grade. Death to America. Death to Israel. Yeah, literally, since I was in the 4th grade. And now that they have been saying that for so long, and even last year, I was hearing they're like days away from getting a nuclear weapon. That's right. I mean, Democrats and Republicans alike. They're basically here. They basically have one.
Where we are now is not in a good place. Instead of being at least a year away from having the breakout capacity of producing fissile material for a nuclear weapon, is now probably 1 or 2 weeks away from doing that.
That's Tony Blinken, and when the heck was that? It was 2024. Okay, a couple of weeks. Well, it's been almost a year since then, so that is very, very uneasy. Again, Iran has been our enemy for a long, long time. Who remembers? Were they old enough to remember when they took our hostages and kept them for 444 days? It's not like a lot has actually transpired in Iran since then. I'll get to that in a second. Iran, not only did they take our hostages, not only have they been fueling terror all around the world for decades, they also targeted U.S. troops in Iraq. Remember those horrible IEDs? They were being built and sent over the Iran-Iraq border. They were behind it, a lot of that stuff. And as far as who's been running the show in Iran, it hasn't been many people. First, there was the Ayatollah Khomeini, right? Very, very bad guy, succeeded by the Ayatollah Khamenei, I believe is how you pronounce the next guy's name. And they're both bad dudes. So two individuals, the theocratic leaders of Iran, have watched all these presidents come and go. Khomeini, 3 presidents while he was ruling. And then the next guy, Khamenei, how many presidents have come and gone? I think President Trump is the one who's going to bring this in for a landing, okay? Because Israel right now is incredibly vulnerable. I know they have the best military in the world and, well, second best. But look at what they're up against. The entire Arab world sometimes. That's what it's felt like for Israel for most of its history. The Arab world is huge. I saw Bibi Netanyahu do this once. Take that full if you don't mind. He takes his hand and he places it over the map, right? Look at this. This is the Arab world, everybody, okay? Arab world. And then another hand can take up the second half of the Arab world. Israel is basically right there, a fingernail. 2 hands versus a fingernail. Israel is the size of roughly New Jersey. It's a very, very tiny country, right? That's, wow, it's up against a lot. And so far, boy, they've been inflicting major damage on Iran. Take a look at these statistics so far. They've gotten rid of all those major generals and scientists, 20 senior military commanders. Excellent. Next, please. They struck Iran's main uranium enrichment facility at Natanz. Okay, keep going. Destroyed 1/3 of Iran's missile launchers. And we're up against something, though, tougher than we may have thought in this next nuclear facility. It's underground. It's tough to actually take out. But if we do take it out, it's not going to be like the Iraq War. When we invaded, remember all the thousands and thousands of troops that we had to put over there, both for the first Gulf War and the second Gulf War, 100 to 200,000 troops, thousands of planes, aircraft carriers, all this stuff. If we actually come to Israel's aid, we might just be able to do it with one airplane, the B-2 stealth bomber. Drop the banner at the bottom if you would. There it is, dropping a bunker buster is what it's called. The B-2, let's see, I'm told by military experts, people in the know, it would only take maybe 4 missions, 4 flights of the B-2 to finish the job at that crazy base in the middle of Iran where they have all the nuclear sensitive stuff underground. They need this buster that goes through the ground and keeps going. Take a look at this footage if you would. This is a B-2 dropping one of these great big bunker busters. It falls, gravity makes it go even faster. And when it hits the ground, the key is this. It doesn't actually explode. It plows into the ground very, very deep. Now, we don't know exactly how deep. That's a little bit classified, but take it full. You're about to see it go into the ground. And that's not an explosion. That's kind of kicking up the dirt. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and then it explodes. So they have all their secret nuclear stuff way underground, and that B-2 bomber could actually do it from the middle of the country. It will take off from Missouri, no kidding, from Missouri, and fly all the way around the world and be able to take this thing out. It's just an incredible machine, the B-2 bomber. Let's take another look at it if you don't mind. It's going to take off from Missouri in the middle of the country, fly all the way over to Iran, drop the bomb. It'll have to refuel in flight 4 times or so, but it's doable, and it's not a commitment of 100,000 troops. Maybe that's the option. Maybe that's the way we will go. Then again, maybe there's a case to be made for not bombing. And you're hearing that from some parts of MAGA. The case for not bombing Iran seems to be pretty strong. And a lot of MAGA superstars like Tucker Carlson, let's face it, well, the president called him kooky the other day. Maybe he is a little bit out there. I have a theory why Tucker is so reluctant, however, and a lot of other people in MAGA, to take on Iran like this. We all like America first, right? President Trump coined the phrase, and it works for me.
I will put America first, and that's the way it is. We'll stop throwing our money overseas, and we're going to let our country benefit. We're going to put America first. We'll put America first, but because we're putting it first, we're doing so well, there's going to be plenty left over to help the world. We put America first, and we're going to make America great again.
Makes sense. But America first doesn't mean, I heard somebody say, America first doesn't mean America only. We have a very strong and important ally in Israel, and I could not imagine the world without Israel. I couldn't imagine America without Israel. Now, one of the reasons why some of the MAGA people are saying no to this is because, well, they have memories of the Iraq War, 2003 to 2011, and it was a disaster. And a lot of the people who say we should not take military action right now in Iran in coordination with Israel are the same people, like Tucker, I like Tucker, but who said we should go into Iraq. A lot of folks, right? That was the thing to do. If you were a Republican and you were against the Iraq War, you weren't really a Republican in 2003 and 2004. President Trump wasn't a Republican in 2003 and 2004. And that's why he could say this and mean it and never have been for that war. It's a myth that he told Howard Stern he was for it. Total lie. He was always against it.
Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say, and he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
So a lot of people remember that. He was right. He is right. And a lot of folks in MAGA land who were for the Iraq war think that it's like post-traumatic stress from being so wrong about Iraq. So we'll see. I'm also hearing that inside Israel, it's not unanimous that they want America to join in this fight directly by sending American bombers. That's not a done deal by any means, and there's often a lot of conflict in that Israeli Knesset and in Israeli politics. There's another thing to this. It's a preemptive war. That kind of spooks people a little bit. Preemptive, just like Iraq, preemptive war. Maybe Israel also doesn't need us. Did you hear? This is the Israeli ambassador to America, and he said there's something really big coming, and it's going to surprise the hell out of the Iranians. Can you play that, please?
We've pulled off a number of surprises. When the dust settles, you're going to see some surprises on Thursday night and Friday that will make the beeper operation almost seem simple.
So that was when they sent in all the beepers to Hezbollah, and they were like, hello, and boom, the phone blew up in their, well, right next to their head, and it killed a lot of people, a lot of high-value military targets. What is he talking about? I don't know, but it sounds pretty awesome.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.